Eira, e ngā mana i ngā reo, e ngā karangarangatanga maha. Ko te tangata e whai ake nei, tēnei pūwaha kōrero, ko Materoa Mar, CE for Te Tihi o Ruahine Whanaui Ora Alliance, presentation titled Community Development and Whānau Ora. Materoa Mar is the current upoko whakarai for Te Tihi o Ruahine Whanaui Ora Alliance and is Director Māori Health for a large primary healthcare organisation based in Te Papaioia, Palmerston North. Materoa is of Ngā Puhi, Ngāti Porou, Te Ruarua and Ngāti Whātua descent. Materoa is a strong advocate for social justice and Indigenous progression. Materoa has a keen interest in fostering change and innovation and is always open to exploring opportunity. Materoa is passionate about improving the quality of services to whānau through the opportunity to apply a Whānau Ora lens. Materoa is the current chair of Emerge Aotearoa, interim chair for E Tipu Area, A Better Start, Science Challenge and a board member for Mid-Central District Health Board. She is a proud mama of 5 children, of some who went to Hatapaura College, and both a grandmother and great-grandmother e te iwi, Materoa Mar. Okay. Also, I am proud to be acquaintance of Materoa, getting cheeky there about her children who went to Hatapaura College. That's not a slight on our whanaunga that went to Te Aute College. Te Tihi o Ruahine also has a Whānau Ora Alliance with Raukawa Whānau Ora, of which I am employed by, and we enjoy a partnership together, making pathways for our whānau to advance themselves. Anō reira, kare roa ka timata nā kōrero o tō tātou tuahine e te iwi, Materoa Mar.
Tēnā koutou. Tēnā koutou. Nā mihi atu ki a koe e Keelan, mō tō mihi ahau nā mihi atu ki a koe e pai e tūtaki ki a koe. Nā mihi atu ki a koutou i nā rangatira mā, he mihi aroha ki a koutou, i tēnei ata koe te uri o Ngāti Porou, Ngāti Whātua me Ngā Puhi Tonu, koe te upoko whakarai o Te Tihi o Ruahine. Mōrena koutou, it's a privilege to be here, and even though it's in a really odd way, I'm sure that some of the previous presenters have also maybe communicated that it is an unusual way to present at a conference. However, we are extremely adaptable as human beings, and this is our opportunity to take another leap forward and endure more change as we participate in this next phase. I really want to thank the NZNO for the invitation to speak with you this morning, and I'm humbled by that opportunity. Maybe just also to say, in my long history, I have been a nurse before, and mostly my undertakings were mental health. And in fact, I was a clinical nurse specialist for child and youth mental health back in the, I think it must have been like in the 1990s, early 90s, late 80s. Anyway, I would like to take the opportunity to talk with you this morning about connecting with communities. And firstly, I would like to suggest that we not be presumptuous and think that communities don't have their own dreams and aspirations for what it is that they are wanting to achieve over time. Sometimes it is often that organisations and agencies take the approach of imposing ideas, possibly good ideas, that have been thought of generally outside of households and whānau who live in those communities. It is crucial that we take the opportunity to engage with those that live in those communities who obviously have the best insight into creating either solutions all creating aspirations for what it is that they are hoping to achieve. There are several ways in which this can be undertaken, and of course, introducing opportunities for us to use frameworks and or outcome areas that resonate with what it is that communities are hoping to achieve. This is vital in the process and important that we take those opportunities to engage fully with communities and have a greater understanding and a depth of knowledge about what that aspiration is. We all can be a part of that transformation, and we all bring skills, pukenga, talents, ways of knowing and knowledge that can contribute to amazing outcomes that when we have the opportunity to participate. We recognise that there is much of this that exists in communities, and of course, these communities, I'm saying the word community, but obviously each community has its own nuances, its own way of operating, and obviously is made up of such diversity that it is a skill in itself to navigate your way through that. The diversity, of course, brings much talent and also other opportunities to see ways of doing things and ways of knowing. It is really important, obviously, as you would know, and I'm sure that all of you participate in these types of activities in a way that is about walking alongside of, seeking knowledge and contributing to that what already exists, as opposed to imposing what it is that our idea might be. We have to be able to see a wider vision. We have to be able to participate in this in a way that brings to fruition that wider vision. Today, I wanted to take the opportunity to introduce the Whānau Ora outcomes. It may be that you have had the opportunity to see these or work within them, perhaps participate as a part of developing what this might already look like in the communities that you all are a part of. I don't want to presume that you are all empty vessels and I am filling you with new knowledge. So I appreciate that you will have your own knowledge and your own understanding, and that this is a view that I am seeking to share. We at Te Tihi and in the wider Palmerston North, Manawatu, Tararua, Horowhenua district have given new life, which has great meaning in our communities, to the Whānau Ora outcomes. There are 7 domains that I would like to share with you today that make up the areas of Whānau Ora. This is a quick overview of what the domains of outcomes are. I'd like to draw your attention on the screen to 2 of the areas, and I will provide some quick overview. Pukenga rawa, or economic security and wealth creation. If you look at the tohu, or the symbol that we have created, Darwin Hakaraya from Ngāti Pariwahawaha was the artist who drew these for us, who created them. So I'd like to acknowledge her. Pukenga rawa. We would say it only takes one person in the whānau to raise the level of opportunities and lay that foundation for future generations. The 2 designs on either side of the figure represent the many pathways our whānau have available to them if they choose to pursue them. Whānau aspire to achieve levels of economic security that do not depend on minimal household incomes. Wealth can present itself in many forms and may not necessarily be a dollar value. It may be in fact, the passing of intergenerational mātauranga as a source of wealth creation. The next tohu, pāporetanga, or whānau participation in society. Participation is a 2-way process, giving and one of receiving, reciprocation. The outer figure with the kape design represents whānau. The kape pattern represents all those groups and activities that they are affiliated to. The inner design represents those community groups and whānau access to community facilities and ability to benefit from community goods and services. This, of course, includes health, education, employment, and also seeking higher levels of household income. This is necessary, all of these components, for whānau wellbeing. Often, whānau that are active and participate are contributing to their community. These are the next set of outcomes, and I'd just like to mention that none of these are in any particular order. Tuakiritanga, te ao Māori. The kape design represents ko te kiti tuauri, ko te kiti tuatia, ko te kiti aronui. The kōruru speaks for itself, identity. Whānau participation in tribal, community and cultural endeavours that promote the ongoing transmission of Māori knowledge, culture and te reo Māori. Those that are connected to their culture tend to have or often illustrate healthier lifestyles. This is also predicated on much research that has been undertaken in relation to identity and the presence of positive identity. The next one is in the centre of the slide, Hau Oranga, healthy whānau lifestyles. It usually takes one member of the whānau to pave the way for change, and the whānau will follow once they see the benefits unfold in front of them. The figure represents te taha tinana, healthy nutrition, and exercise habits in healthy environments. One spile represents te taha hininaro, establishing codes of conduct that endorse healthy behaviours, disseminating information to whānau members, web-based communication, and the other spile represents te taha wairua, intergenerational transmission of values and models. The circle represents te taha whānau, positive relationship building, and demonstrates good parenting and safe practices in your whare. The last tohu, te aki tai ao, responsible stewards of living and natural environments. The manu represents the knowledge that is passed from the spiritual realm to the physical. It is the one that watches over us and communicates when needed for us to maintain our environment. Whānau understand the concept of kaitiakitanga and can identify how that may apply to their current situation and moimoia. Whānau can reconnect with a Māori worldview when it comes to their natural and living environments, tai ao. Whānau understand how their environments may be categorised. For example, living in a micro or natural world or at a macro level. Whānau determine what sustainable behaviours look like in their environments and therefore are actively contributing this to their communities. Our last two outcome areas, kotahitanga, whānau cohesion. Kotahitanga is most whānau usually have a matriarch that keeps everyone connected. In today's time, our rangatahi also play a big part in this through social network sites. The figure represents the matriarch. The kape design is significant as these represent those other elements that keep us connected, such as kapahaka, sports, arts, marae, and social network science. Whānau identify issues and seek to address these issues as whānau and as a part of wider communities. Increase whānau unity, understanding and connection between whānau also promotes connection and understanding in a broader community sense. Process and involvement in collective whānau decision-making also relates to the opportunity for communities to collectivise their aspirations and also their activities towards this. Rangatiratanga, whānau self-management. The Te Whatiwha is a symbol of the past and the scroll a symbol of the future. Using both enables one to move freely and manage their own destination. This is self-determination. Knowing where you have come from enables one to carve out the pathways for all generations to self-manage. Whānau determine their own pathways and manage their own affairs. Whānau draw on skills and strengths of their own members to advance collective interests. Whānau self-management is underpinned by cultural values. Generosity, sharing, cooperation, and mutuality are all the concepts and values that also build healthy, strong communities that are connected and clearly aspiring to greater things. This is the opportunity to broaden our horizons. These concepts allow us to critically think about where the opportunities lie, what can be our skills, our talents, and our contributions to making a difference to the communities that we move freely within. As you can see, there is the opportunity for greater honouring o te tiriti o Waitangi. A nei he wiki o te reo Māori, engari, i ngā wā katoa i te reo Māori. I guess that it is moving beyond the borders of the wonderful opportunities as a country we already look at, and what can we push those boundaries on and look towards those people who are fringe dwellers, and we can aim our direction towards that. Connecting with iwi and Māori communities, this is a significant circuit breaker in taking us forward and joining our efforts and being able to take leadership as a country in our own destination. Obviously, fundamentally, to undertaking these opportunities, we know that relationships are at the heart of this. The ability to invoke trust, to do what we say we will do, not to say one thing and do another, but always to approach those situations with being puno, with being tika, and having aroha towards each other. These things are not merely concepts, but they dwell within us, and we have to take the opportunity to express those things towards others, even when it doesn't feel that we are able to. We have to be able to dig deep and display those things in the way that we behave towards each other. Of course it is challenging. Of course we all seek to do better than what we already do. That is where we support each other. We provide that strength to be able to demonstrate those behaviours. Relationships are key to everything, and although it may be that some things are valued much higher than that, I would always say and challenge that relationships are fundamental. They are at the heart of everything that we want to achieve, and the value and commitment of putting time into those relationships will reap the rewards for all of those who participate. Obviously, community development is part of and at the heart of the Whānau Ora approach. This is the opportunity to create innovation, hubs of change, and have circuit breakers that bring us to a different place and a different understanding. I also would like to take the opportunity to touch on collective impact, which was first introduced by the Harvard University, has been developed further by the Tamarack Institute. This is a framework that we take and we join with the Whānau Ora outcome areas to create a matrix where we can populate and also understand with greater depth where those opportunities are. I want to also encourage those things that help to create co-creation. I think sometimes there is a lot of overuse of terms, co-creation, co-design, however, Fundamentally, we must engage in the processes that allow this. It is no longer acceptable just merely to use the words and not to engage in the behaviours that take us to this different space. Obviously, we can see that impact and measuring change is important to all communities and all of us who participate in that. It is beyond one discipline. It is beyond one person. It encourages us all to unify our efforts and to draw from our past to inform our future. Our contribution is something that we should always be thinking about, and the opportunity to draw on that, to join with others, and to warmly engage in the conversations that are required. Lastly, I would like to leave you with this whakatauaki. I know that you are all able to read the screen, so I do not want to insult you with reading it out. I do, however, want to say to you, this is the opportunity to set our sails, to look where we are heading, far to the horizons, be bold and courageous, and undertake the change that is required. It is a very brief overview of the things that are important to us as Te Tihi, the amazing skills that sit within the team of Te Tihi, and the hard work that people undertake in the space that I am privileged to be a part of. I thank you for the opportunity to share that very small contribution. I hope that it provides you with something new, with something that resonates with your heart, and also something that stirs a curiosity in you to actually explore what those opportunities might bring as we move forward. Nō reira. He mihi atu ki a koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā tātou katoa. Nā mihi.
Anō reira, tēnei te mihi atu anō ki a koe kei taku tuahine e Materoa. Pēnei pē te kōrero, he aroha ki te iwi e mahi ana ki te hāpai i tō tātou Māoritanga. Toru no iho he mahanga mahi ki te whakatūtuki i ngā moimoia o te iwi. Me mahi tātou, mo te iwi Māori ki te whakamana i a tātou anō. A kaua koe e maumau i o mātauranga me whakaako koe a ki te hunga e tikana. Nō reira, tikana te kōrero, being tika, being pono, and doing it with aroha, that's the only way that we know how to do it properly. Nō reira, kore e mutu anō, nā mihi ki a koe, and I like the idea that Transformers, nurses in disguise, Transformers, more than meets the eye. Nō reira, e te tuahine, ke pai te toenga o tō rangi, e mihi kauatu ana anō ki a koe, kia whai wāhi, te kōrero rero wānangananga, tēnei kaupapa ngiha nui ki a koe, o tira ki a tātou katoa, tēnā koe, tēnā koe, ma te ngākau e tirawa.
Tēnā koe, Kenan. Nā mihi.